Hi, I'm Sati de la Paz, and this is Mary, and we are going to show the slow, sumptuous flow that gets into the hips and gets into the side body. So it's going to be good for the lymph, good for immunity, good for practicing at the end of the day before you go to sleep. And let's just get into it. So starting hands and knees, please. As Mary has, you might like some support underneath your knees. So if you don't have an extra mat like we do, um, you might like a blanket or even a pillow underneath your knees. And for this practice, you might need 2 blocks and a strap. Making sure your wrist creases are lined up to the front edge of the mat, your knees right underneath your hips. Beginning a series of cow-cats. From the inhale, dropping the belly, sweetly lifting the chest and the sits bones. Exhale to round the spine and release the weight of the head. Inhaling to arch, creating space between hips and shoulders. And exhale to curl in, gently pressing the earth away. A couple more, just like that. Warming up the spine, noticing what feels open, spacious, pleasurable. And also relaxing back to notice what feels tight, tired, sore. Next time you come through center, please pause. And do the tiniest of cat poses in your lower body so you feel the sides of the waist lift and the tailbone stretch down like it was a plumb line right between the two knees. And then you'll float your left arm and your right leg away from the floor, keeping them bent for now as if you were trying to get your elbow to touch your knee. Inhaling to lift the arm and the leg away from the earth, and exhale to lower. Keep your head then up to the back of the spine, throat open. See if you can slow down the inhale to 4 to 6 counts. This automatically trigger the relaxation response in the body. And next time you finish up left arm, right leg, pause and forwards. Step your feet up towards your hands, please, coming into standing forward fold, planting your hands onto your blocks. Yeah, you got it. You might slide your feet a little more forward. Perfect. And you can slide your feet as wide as you'd like here and bend your legs as much as you'd like here. If there's more pain in the back, more sensitivity in the back. On an inhale, half lift, straighten your legs, offer your heart forward. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, stand all the way up, bending your knees for this first one. Reach up. Exhale, bring the palms to the heart. 4 to 6 count inhale as you reach for the sky. Exhale and fold, bending your knees, hinging at the hips. And 3 times. Inhale, half lift, chest moves parallel to the earth. Exhale, fold back in, gentle tone of your low belly. And in each exhale, we're bringing that gentle engagement to the low belly. It's not a suck in, it's not aggressive. It's almost like it has a more kind of like your favorite aunt giving you a hug quality to it, just gently drawing navel towards the back body. After your 3, step back to hands and knees, please. Sliding your knees a little further back than your hips. And 3 times, circling your hips towards the left. And the circles might be small and shy, or they might be kind of wild and move closer to child's pose or up dog. And circle your hips 3 times to the right, as if you were stirring forth joy, stirring forth wisdom from your most evolved being. Gradually release back into child's pose. And for this first child's pose, bring the knees a little wider than the hips. And for most of us, it feels good for the big toes to touch. If you have chronic knee pain, you might want to bring your feet as wide as your knees and even bring a blanket or a block underneath your hips. Exhale fully. Take a deep breath in and let out a sigh. Let something go. If it's available, come up onto your fingertips and slowly walk your hands over to the right. Only going so far that you can stay grounded in this left outer hip. As you press down to the fingertips, it'll draw the shoulder blades on the back. You can really let the head go here. And slowly walk your hands over to the left. Taking some deeper breaths through the right side of the body, through the right lung. Slowly come back through center. Slide the knees as wide as the hips. And you're going to want to make sure your knees and your feet are on your extra mat or your extra blanket for this one, so you get a little extra support. And on an inhale, come up to kneeling, reach for the sky. And on an exhale, either release your arms by your sides or come into child's pose. I'll have you come all the way down into child's pose if that feels okay for your knees. And then inhale to reach up out of the power of the earth. Come up through kneeling. Exhale, tone the low belly, child's pose. Or some friends releasing their arms by their sides. Twice more. On the inhale, pushing off the feet. Breath moving in and out like the tide. And after your two, you'll stay in child's pose. Rise up through hands and knees. And step your feet up to the front edge of your mat. Coming into standing forward fold again. Uttanasana. On an inhale, half lift, extend your spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Legs straight and at the crest of the inhale. And exhale, bring your palms to the heart. Oh shit, I forgot the side to side.
No, we did the side to side.
We were down here. I was going to have us do this.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's not a total waste.
No. Should we do it now and just try to edit the piece out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll have you bend over again. And then bring your feet as wide as your mouth. Staying really rooted in your right foot, walk your hands over towards your left foot. And then some friends will grab their left leg with their right hand and then plant their left hand to block, and or some people will come high up onto their fingertips next to their left foot. Now, as you take 3 deep rounds of breath here, gently toning navel to spine, so your tailbone long. This the right hip will widen, even the right rib cage will widen off towards the right. Let the head go. And then slowly release and walk your hands over towards your right foot. And then your block, your rectangle of hope is there. You need it. Slowly come back through center. Inhaling, half lift, offer your heart forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. Exhale, bring the palms to the heart. Inhaling, reach for the sky. Exhale and fold. Head and shoulders, last thing to come down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Stretch back to downward facing dog, please. Some friends will need to keep their legs bent in downward facing dog so the spine keeps extending and drawing in its lower and into its natural curves. Pressing from the heart down and out through the hands, or stretch up and back through the hips. Breathing in, stretch your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, pull the knee in towards the heart, coming into pigeon. So the right knee will come by the right wrist, the foot will go all the way across the mat, and this right foot will be strongly flexed in order to protect the joints. And as you hug the knees in towards each other, lower down onto your forearms, making sure that your head can let go completely. So that might mean bringing a block underneath your head, or for some friends, a blanket. Each inhale draws all the way down into the pelvic floor, breathing into the tight spots. And as it's available, wrapping the left hip wide and forward in order to give your right hip some space to tuck it back and more underneath you. On your next inhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Feel the difference between the two sides. Breathing in, stretch your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, coming into pigeon. Now, for some friends, having the knees on hardwood is quite difficult and painful. So you might slide extra blankets, pillows underneath the knees as needed. And then as you're ready, coming down onto the forearms. As we move into colder weather, this work of getting into the hips, it starts to activate this quality called Apanavayu, which is this one of the directions of the energy moving out, which really helps with elimination. And so much of our immune system is actually held in the gut and the digestive system. So getting into the hips, it helps with emotional release and also preparing our systems for the winter. Exhale fully. Take a deep breath in and let out a sigh. Roll onto your left hip to swing the right leg around, coming into a seat. And I'm going to put Mary up onto a half block. Most of us need to sit up onto something. So a blanket, a block, so the pelvis can come into what's called anterior tilt, and the back can lengthen. And then from here, we'll stretch the right leg out in front of us, bending the left leg, sole the foot on the floor. And one option is to stay right here. Other friends will cross the left leg over the right. And then the deepest hip stretch from here would be to bend the bottom leg and sweep it back towards your heel. You want to go for that? You want to stay right here? Okay. And then take a deep, lengthening breath. As you exhale, twist open towards your left. You can place your left hand back behind you like a kickstand for support. And some friends will hook their right elbow on their left outer thigh. Only going so far in the twist that both sits bones are rooted to earth, the shoulders are softening out of the ears, the breath is flowing. Twists are also amazing for detox. It's like giving the internal organs a massage where they're twisted, and then when we release the fresh blood and white blood cells and pour into the organs. Take a deep breath in, deepest breath of your week. As you exhale, slowly come back to center. Unwind the legs and give them a little shake. And switch sides. Some friends will cross the legs. Some friends will even bend the bottom leg and stretch the heel back towards the right buttock. Take a deep, lengthening breath. Exhale to twist open towards the right. Pressing through the right foot. And in these seated twists, the twist actually begins in the hips. So the hips turn, and then like a spiral, it begins to move up the spine, through the ribs, and the head turning towards the right is the last and optional piece, depending on how the neck is feeling. Stack the sacred center of the heart, the center of joy and equanimity and unconditional love right over the power and potential of your pelvis. And then stack the third eye, the center of the skull, the center of intuition and wisdom right over the power of the heart. And take this last breath or two into a softening jaw. I want to exhale, come back through center. Okay, so last shape for Shavasana, we'll do a pose called Parshva Shirshasana. So Mary's going to bend her left leg and then stretch the right leg out to the side. Yeah. And this right leg is going to stay pretty active to protect the knees. So the foot will flex, we'll dig the heel into the earth. And then let's drop the left knee off to the side. And many of us will need a block underneath this knee. Any pain there?
No.
And then if you have a strap, and if you don't have a strap, you could also use a scarf or a belt here. We'll put a little loop in the strap and loop up the foot. And she's going to take a deep breath in. She's actually going to turn towards her left, bringing the right hand to the left thigh. And then on our next inhale, the left arm's going to sweep up overhead and grab a hold of this strap. Each exhale, letting hips, knees, legs sink into the earth. Each inhale, finding length and space, and maybe leaning a little bit towards the right, sliding the left hand down the strap, if that becomes available. Nothing to force, nothing to coerce. I'm going to exhale, so slowly come back to center. And for this to be safe for the knees, she'll scoop up underneath her left knee and bring it back to center. Let's switch sides. She'll take a deep breath in, turning towards the right. And then inhaling the right arm up towards the sky. And exhale to lean towards the left to the degree that the right hip can settle and sink down into the earth. Keep drawing the low back in and up, opening up through the throat. Noticing what parts of the body are touching the earth and tapping into this energy of Apana Vayus. Energy moving down and out, settling down into the earth a little bit more. And slowly come back through center. You can move all your props off to the side. Oh no. Something else to edit out. And then recline down onto your back, please, pulling your knees up into your belly. Rubbing anywhere on the legs, behind the thighs, outer edges of the feet. Gently rocking from side to side to release the hips and the low back. And stretching out for Shavasana. I'll show with Mary here. Some friends will like a block underneath each knee. And again, if you don't have blocks at home, you're using a rolled up blanket, you're using books, and this helps fully let the hips and the low back release. If you've got a sweatshirt or an eye pillow at home, you could cover your eyes. Letting go of any sense of action or effort. Simply resting within the rise and fall of your breath. Please begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Circling your wrists and your ankles. And in your own time, staying here for as long as you'd like. Bending your knees, rolling to one side. And gently pressing yourself up to a seat. Join the palms of the heart in honor of the fearlessness, the sweetness, and the compassion within your own heart. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for carving out time for self-care. How you feeling?
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Do you think they're gonna notice that the sun's going down instead of
You know, with this one they will, but this one it won't.